Today's video is a bit special. Instead of focusing on one specific classical firearm, I want to take a broader look at all firearms categories throughout the history. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this topic recently, and today I'd like to share my perspective with you. First, why did I decide to make this video? Honestly, I think it's essential. Previously, I simply categorized the firearms by continent, but that approach has many limitations. For instance, when we talk about the European muskets, we usually mean those that appeared on the European continent, like the famous brown base, Charleville, or Jaeger rifle. However, I don't think it's a good idea to put American muskets into a completely separate category. Doing so weakens the historical connection between European and American firearms. For example, the famous American long rifle was developed from the early German Jaeger rifle. Similarly, the Pt.1, which we've discussed before, was a type shared by both America and Europe. Therefore, rather than separating them based on purely on geography, it makes more sense to group them into a single category. Additionally, I recently planned to make videos about the Alpha muskets from North Africa, and as I researched further, I discovered an even wider variety of North African muskets, where these firearms have their differences. They are deeply interconnected through various tribes, clans, and nations. For instance, the Miguelite lock has clear ties to the Iberian Peninsula in Europe. This shows that historical development is more like a network, not just a geographic one, but one woven together by timelines and diverse national cultures. I realized that if I continued my plan without a clear structure, my videos on North Africa or Central Asia wouldn't be systematic. I want to do my best to present the history of firearms in a more organized way. Furthermore, after examining various firelock muskets globally, it's clear that almost every region had its typical style, such as the Swedish snaplock, the Spanish Miguelite lock, or the Hmong muskets. One might think we could categorize firearms by country, but that leads to historical issues. National borders have always shifted. Centuries ago, unified countries like Italy and Germany were composed of many different states with unique cultural elements. Categorizing strictly by modern countries would be another limitation. In future chapters, as we look at the firearms from various regions, we will visit all these factors to create a better classical firearm map. At first, I thought about moving away from geography entirely, but couldn't find a better alternative. If we don't use geography, we could use the type of lock, but so many variations appeared in history that it would result in a fragmented classification. I also considered categorizing by oceans, such as the West Pacific, Mediterranean, Atlantic, and Indian Ocean regions, plus inland countries. It sounded interesting, but it ignored the central connections and had its own flaws. For example, Hungary and Kazakhstan are both inland, but they are completely different in types of firearms, history, and culture. Ultimately, I decided to keep this simple. I'll stick to my original idea of using continents as a base, but I've refined it by incorporating the strengths of my previous ideas. Considering local types and developmental paths, I've customized the categories into East Asian, Southeast Asian, Central and North Asian, South and West Asian, Mediterranean and Caucasian, and European and American continental firearms. It might sound a bit abstract, but in the following part, I will share the details of this system and show you the most typical firearms in each category. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you next time.